I'm going to go to this one. What are the risks and potential complications associated with a thigh lift? Wow, that's out of left field. Okay, so thigh lift. Obviously, there's a great big scar. It's a varying length, and you'll know exactly how long it's going to be because I'll draw it on you beforehand, you know, at the consultation process before you decide if you're going to go ahead with it. There's risks of infection. There's risks of things like infection, wound breakdown, and I normally, for most surgery, I always say that for all surgery actually, but for thigh lifts, I actually mean it. There is a genuine risk of wound breakdown. I don't, you know, it can happen elsewhere. Of course it can happen with any surgery, but it's not, I wouldn't kind of think, oh, there's a bit of wound breakdown for a thigh lift. I think, yeah, it does happen. Seroma is, again, seroma, this collection of kind of blister fluid, tissue fluid, can happen pretty much with any operation in which you undermine anything, but with a thigh lift, so lymphatic rich, and it's always, you're on your legs, so you don't have your legs up very easily. If you have your legs up, you're genuinely resting. So it's always draining downwards to where we've done the surgery. So the risk of seroma is a little bit higher as well, I'd say. And there's all sorts of other risks, things like lymphedema, things like nerve injury, things like, you know, asymmetry, contour irregularity, lots of things that we go through. To be honest, to answer that question, is the consultation. It's going to take an hour. It's not all about that. So there are lots of risks, but those things that I've drawn out in particular are probably the things I worry about more in a thigh lift than in other kinds of surgery.
Fabulous. So the next one is, are on-table tummy tuck results what you can expect to see as a final result?
Ah, interesting.
That's a good question.
It's a really good question. Are on-table, and I could probably extend that to, are on-table surgical results in general what you expect to see as the final result? And the answer is hell no.
I was going to say, I think I can answer that.
Yeah. No. Absolutely not.
It's funny because you see a lot of people posting their, you know, here's a before photo of this person, here's an on-table result, don't they look amazing? I think, well, yeah, they do, but that's not how it's going to end up, is it? I'm
almost uninterested in the on-table result. Yeah, these posts of on-table results, yeah. I'm just thinking, I mean, is that helpful?
It's a bit unfair.
That's unhelpful. No, you'll change so much. I do sometimes get a snap on table because that's all I've got, so that I can show the patient the following morning, hey, this is what you look like. Because when they first see it after a week, they're going to be swollen and they'll look nothing like that. So at least they've got something to kind of hark back to. But
and be hopeful about, because I think at that stage you kind of think,
that first week can be rubbish with some kinds of surgery.
Swollen, blah blah blah.
So you do want something, but actually, for me, the result gets better with time generally. So okay, no, that's not true. There are different kinds of surgery. With some of them, most of them, you get sort of fairly good, then it gets worse and worse, and then it gets better than it started. For a few of them, it starts off amazing and actually then sort of settles and stabilizes. And when I say starts off amazing, I would put into that category things like fat grafting. We have all the volume, fat grafting to the breast, got all this volume, and then all it's going to do is deteriorate. And then you've just got to see where it stops. Another one is maybe arm lift, thigh lift, actually, where it's as tight as it's going to ever be, then, and it will settle down. Tummy tuck, actually, though, I don't include in that, because even though it is as tight as it will ever be week one, it can look a bit unnatural, especially with some of the stuff I do in terms of contouring, putting in the crease, the side contouring. That can be excessive. I overdo it. I over-egg it at first, knowing that it will settle down. So,
and the stitching, it gets a bit pleaty, doesn't
it? You sometimes need to pleat the stitches because the scar lengths might be different lengths, and you can see that pleating at first and it vanishes completely by about 6 to 8 weeks. So that's an example where I think for a tummy, I think the results look better at about, they look better at a month than they do at a week, and I think they look best at around stable at around 3 months. Breast implants are another great example. You know that at a week, that will look better. The patients are always happy at a week because they look better than they did substantially. But for me, they look much better 1 to 3 months later. They settle into their pocket, they drop, everything, all the proportions have changed and they're as they were intended to be. So no, Generally, you do not get the on-table result that you're finally going to see, and you do know who's when you have a theatre team and there'll be someone who's new and they're maybe new to theatre, they maybe sort of haven't been doing theatre work before. You'll sometimes see them go, "What?" And you'll have to say, no, this is how it will go.